Thank you for checking out Tea and a Buddy on YouTube. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hello and welcome to the Tea and a Buddy podcast with me, Dominic.
And me, Erica.
And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about Christmas markets.
Yay!
Christmas marketing.
I say yay. I've never been to a Christmas market.
I've been to a couple that I can remember when I was a child, and also growing up. I mean, my town had like a version of a Christmas market.
I mean, they had Christmas markets when we were in Spain, didn't they? But they were all like closed up.
They were all closed up because it was... I don't know why it was all closed up, because it was right around... It was... Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it was
Maybe they had them in November and was just like, oh, December? Nah, not going to do it.
No, it was November. I think it was November we were there, so maybe it was just a little bit early. They'd already set them up, but they just hadn't, like, officially opened yet or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It was strange. Yeah, that was strange, because, a Christmas market.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's
tell you what a Christmas market is if you've never, ever heard of one before.
Yeah.
It's basically a place where you can... it's like an outdoors type place, like stalls that are set up by local businesses.
Right.
Or just people who just want to sell stuff, I think. If you get a permit to sell, usually they're all in like one area. But then, that's what the old ones used to be. Used to be like, let's go to the Christmas market and, just like, it was just stalls selling stuff.
So,
knickknacks, stuff like that, Christmassy stuff. Yeah.
Here in Austin, and probably in most of the bigger cities, and maybe some small towns, I don't know. We have farmers markets.
Farmers.
And that's sort of like what a Christmas market is, right? I mean,
it's sort of the stalls, but it's got a Christmas theme.
Right. It's everything.
And it's supposed to be done when there's cold weather, which there is distinct lack of in Austin, except for today or the other day or whatever. It's just like, it's not like a cool climate.
Yeah.
That's why it works so well in Germany. That's where it all kind of started.
Yeah.
But yes, Christmas markets, they have like stalls like that, but they've also expanded now to like where you can go and get something to eat, something hot and warm to drink.
Yeah.
Mulled wine is popular there, and if it's like a German themed Christmas market, it'll have like bratwurst and sauerkraut and stuff like that.
We've seen
currywurst even.
Some of our some of our friends on Instagram.
Some of our friends on YouTube have been there too. Yeah.
Well, somebody I can't remember where he is, but one of our followers on Instagram is somewhere in England.
Somewhere in England.
I don't know where.
Not sure where. It's a secret location.
But his Christmas market was like highly German. Like to the point where to the point where they had, words in German and everything, and
German words in the German language.
Yeah, I was just like, is he still in Britain? But apparently he was.
Yeah.
But they had all the like sauerkraut,
bratwurst, like hot dogs, basically German hot dogs, you could call them, with the massive German sausages.
So I wonder, for our British listeners, do they then have currywurst at these Christmas markets? Because that's super popular in Germany right now.
I'd imagine they would. Yeah, I'd imagine they definitely would, because that's a very hot meal, to like have, and with the French fries and everything,
Yeah.
But what can you buy at a Christmas market?
I don't know. What can you buy, Dominic?
What you usually can buy is like Christmas tree decorations. People would go there to get stuff to decorate their tree with, because it'd be handmade stuff usually. Yeah. And at some of these Christmas markets, handcrafted, hand-painted,
sewn up.
Yeah. Christmas lights. But usually the things that, you can get like wooden toys there, you can get like presents there even, to like put under the tree, and like candles and, like cold weather clothing. But food and stuff, like condiments, and stuff like that, like jams and preserves, chocolate, sweets, baked goods, cookies.
Anything that somebody can kind of hand make in their own, like, little shop or from their home or something
They're
like that.
They're going to come and sell it at the Christmas market, yeah.
You don't really get, like, commercial booths at Christmas markets, do you, or do you?
No. It's one of those things, like, you wouldn't, like, if you saw that, it would kind of put you off.
Yeah, I would think so.
It's
I'm glad.
It's for the small businesses only. If, like,
good.
I don't know, if,
like Chipotle wouldn't have a little mini booth there.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, really.
I mean maybe in London.
Maybe. Because they've got one in London called the Winter Wonderland, and that's the famous, like, market. But it's, like, you can't even call that a Christmas market
Again,
anymore.
we saw that set up, but we never went to it when we
never
were
went
there.
to it.
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of closed. It wasn't going to open until we left.
I don't know why there's all these Christmas markets just set up and not open.
They just close when we come along. They just say, oh, no, it's not open for you. Get away from here. But really now, it's expanded to beyond that kind of thing. You can, like, usually they open them up around, like, they do, like, a temporary ice rink. And they have, like, games and stuff, and they have rides.
Sort of like carnival.
It's like a carnival now. I mean, you can't really say. I mean, that's what Winter Wonderland is like in London. Yeah. And I think there's several in one city usually. There's like.
Oh really?
Yeah, like there's
like the bigger cities.
Like the bigger cities, yeah. But if you can have them in your town as well. I mean, the ones I went to were kind of pretty. Meh, they were just kind of like just a stall and a few stalls and that's it. But usually people go there to eat and drink. Usually people go there, I gotta go, I'm going for dinner tonight, where should we go? The Christmas market,
Yeah.
They'll have some good food on. They'll have, like, mulled wine, hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Well, we went to what? Well, there was a store. It wasn't a Christmas market, but there was a stall in Malaga, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. And they were selling the chestnuts.
Oh, yes.
The roasted chestnuts.
Yes. Have any of you, chestnuts roasting
on an open fire.
Have any of you ever had actual chestnuts? I mean, obviously people probably in New York City.
Yeah.
Around Europe,
hot chestnut stands were there, and I prefer the
They're not good. They are not good, you guys. Chestnuts roasted on an open fire.
I thought, they're going to be pretty good,
They smelled really good.
They smelled really good. And, they're cooked in the shell, so...
So the shell is, like,
hard, it's crispy.
And, yeah.
That's what's delicious. That's what smells delicious. And I started... And I'd never had them before. At least I can't remember having them roasted before.
Story time, by the way.
Story time, everybody. And I went... And we got some, and I was just sitting down, and, it was just me, Erica, and my dad. And
we had no idea how to eat them, because I had never had them either, so we're foolish.
Yeah, and they were in, like, a newspaper cone or something, weren't they? They were served in, like, a... This was in Malaga, in Spain.
Yeah.
So we got some, and, I was eating, and I was just started eating them, and I thought, these are a bit tough. And my dad looks at me and goes, "You're not supposed to eat the skin.
The shell.
You fool! Take the shell off." And I was like,
this is a bit crunchy. This is a bit, like, tough.
That's what I was like, and I was like chewing away. God. I was like, it's not too bad. And then I was like, okay, I don't know, So I took the chestnut shell off, started eating the inside. And I was like, this tastes like absolutely nothing. And my dad goes, yeah. Dad goes, yeah, they're not that great, are they? I was like, I don't know.
No, I think he bought them for us.
Yeah, he bought them for us.
You want some roasted chestnuts? Yeah, and we were like, yeah, okay, we've never had them
because it was pretty cold,
Yeah.
It was actually freezing cold because we were right on the Mediterranean Sea. We're at the beach, and it was just freezing cold.
Let me just tell you.
And I was just
maybe
like,
you're supposed to lick the skin before to get, like, flavor and then take a bite of the chest.
If they came over here, they'd be looking for a way to, like, jazz that up. They'd be looking to put, like, chocolate over it, cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, whatever, and that would make it better, I think.
Yeah.
It's like, because those were just like, nah.
Yeah, let us know if you guys have eaten chestnuts and if
apparently
you like them.
I remember that guy who was like, they're better in London. They're better in London. Yeah, they're
apparently
better in London, mate.
The best roasted chestnuts are in London, so...
But apparently now, because they were all over London around this time, but apparently now you don't really see them anymore because they were illegal set up, you know.
Yeah.
They didn't have a permit to sell them.
I'm sure the rent or whatever to set their little booth up is
and nobody wants them because they're tasteless.
They're disgusting.
It's like eating tasteless
and the flesh,
jelly.
Yeah, and the flesh of the chestnut is really soft. It's like much softer than... It almost is like what I would think a boiled peanut. I've never had, you know, some people boil peanuts.
Peanuts. Now those were the things.
Yeah.
We had them in New York City. They were hot.
Almonds. Yeah.
Yeah. Something with a bit of flavor because
those are coated.
Those were like honey. It was honey roasted.
Honey roasted, yeah.
They honey roasted. And I think they put a drizzle of like caramel or something on mine.
No, I don't
yes,
think so.
they did. They said, courtesy of New York City, Dominic, we're going to put some caramel on
Yeah, now those are some nuts I can get behind.
And I was like, thank you, New York, thank you. But yeah, no, they were so good.
Yeah.
They were so good. And, you know, with a hot chocolate as well, it's just like...
But those are little stands. I mean, those are not exactly...
Yes.
You can't really consider those a Christmas market. A market's gonna have, like... I envision, like, homemade soaps, like, things you can buy
that's
for,
that kind of stuff.
Gifts for people.
Yeah, and I mean, you do have that kind of stuff, you know.
Like
and they'll have, like, merry-go-rounds and all that, you know, like, carnival rides and stuff, and jars of honey, jars of jam, preserves, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, usually you go there to get food, you know. And I mean, the food now is kind of like, you know, I mean, you could have it traditional, like the wurst and all that kind of stuff, you know, like the bratwurst, but usually now it's going to be like anything you like.
Yeah,
you know, it's going to be just like a market. You can get.
It probably depends on what country you're in.
In London,
it's
a metropolitan, so you're going to get everything. You're going to get Thai food, you're going to get Chinese, you're going to get Indian, most definitely, Mexican.
We saw, you guys...
Italian.
If you guys like to watch YouTube, we're going to give a little shout out here to some friends of ours. Morgan, please. Yeah, check out their channel on YouTube. They just spend a long time in Edinburgh, in Scotland, and
now they've got a good Christmas market.
Christmas markets, yeah, they did. I think maybe it was a whole episode just at the Christmas market, or maybe it was all the Christmassy things in Edinburgh.
All the Christmassy things.
They went to one stand. I don't know what you call them.
Stand. Oh yes.
Yes, and they got a frozen.
No. It was a
hot strawberry milkshake.
Hot strawberry milkshake.
That's right.
It was a hot shake.
Yeah, a hot shake, which sounds absolutely disgusting to me. When they said it, they were like, hot strawberry milkshake. I was like, oh no, that does not sound good.
But it was the juice of her life. It was the juice of her life.
Yeah, Morgan said it was the juice of her life. Yeah, so apparently it was really good. They were both like, oh god, yeah, this is so worth the money. It was like $5 or something. Which is another thing we should probably mention, that the Christmas markets are not cheap.
They're not cheap. I mean, these people have got to make a living somehow, so...
Yeah.
And, you know, you're going to pay like $5, pounds, whatever, for like a tiny little drink. I mean, they're there to make their money, really. But if it's a really good... If it's the juice of your life, then, you know, you don't mind paying that much, do you?
Yeah.
Worth going into debt, as they say, you know.
But I think that's other things you can get. I don't know if they do... Do they do, like, hot apple cider?
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, you could definitely get that in America.
Yeah,
because...
mulled wine, usually, it would be.
Mulled wine.
Blackberry or blackcurrant.
For some reason, they do frozen hot chocolates, even though, like, if it's cold, I don't know why you want something frozen, but...
I mean, I'm saying, what is the point of a frozen hot chocolate? It's kind of an oxymoron, isn't it? But we had some frozen hot chocolate ice cream last night.
Yeah, if you follow us on Instagram, you know.
You know, it was so good.
It was good, you guys.
So good.
If you're American, rush to Walmart and get some frozen hot chocolate ice cream immediately.
It was just kind of like, you know, you think like, oh, it's just going to taste like chocolate and marshmallow, but really the chocolate's got this flavor.
Yeah.
It's got like caramel, kind of like a caramelly flavor in it, even though there's kind of like no obvious caramel.
You think everything has caramel in it. You're just thinking everybody's giving you caramel.
They are. They're giving me caramel because they love me.
No, the chocolate.
They love me, people.
The chocolate definitely had like a cooked flavor to it, if that makes any sense.
Like it'd been boiled.
Something, yeah. I mean, it didn't taste like regular chocolate ice cream. It had a little bit of a coffee-ish
caramel coffee.
Oh my
That's
god!
There's
no caramel flavor, you guys. I
there
know
is.
What
There is.
On the nuts or in the ice cream.
There is in the ice cream. I'm pretty sure there is. Somebody can verify that for me.
Anyway, back to Christmas markets.
Oh, Christmas markets. Anyway, yeah, but I mean that's what I mean. That's what you're gonna get. Like you're gonna get some stuff like stolen at Christmas market.
Oh yeah.
Stolen.
Yeah, that stuff is really good.
And of course, gingerbread.
Mm-hmm.
How can you get away without having a little gingerbread man running out of the oven?
Lots of homemade cookies, like little fruit cakes, probably all of that kind of thing. Just the overall vibe of it is very Christmassy, I think.
I think it works better in like cold weather. You know, if you're all bundled up and you're just out there and you're just like, yay.
Well, usually they're like little pitched roof wooden huts, aren't they?
Usually, yeah.
And then they've usually
snow-topped.
They've usually strung some like Christmas lights across the front of all of them. There's usually the food is usually hot, so there's usually like steam or smoke coming out of the places that are making the food. It's just very
Christmassy,
mountainy, like cabin Christmas vibes.
Yes, I mean, you're just expecting the snow to fall. And I think at some Christmas markets they have like a Santa grotto too, you know.
Oh yeah.
So Santa will be there for the kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the places that in the UK that do a
well-known Christmas markets.
That do a Christmas market.
Yeah.
Bath, Birmingham, Brighton, Belfast, Canterbury, Cardiff, you know, the big cities, Edinburgh, Leeds, Manchester, Salisbury, Winchester, and York. York would be good.
Yeah, that
Imagine they did it right by the shambles of very Harry Potter. That would be very Hogsmeade at Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, you'd just be like, I'm going there to get butterbeer. Yes, Harry, yes, I'm going to get a butterbeer. 3 broomsticks.
I'm sure I've seen that on someone's YouTube, actually.
A York Christmas market?
Somebody getting a butterbeer at a Christmas market.
Well, it's probably in York then, isn't it? It's by the shambles.
Or possibly Scotland, too. Scotland.
Oh, well, Edinburgh, yeah, because, I mean, that's... They've kind of claimed it as the birthplace of Harry Potter since J.K. Rowling. I think she wrote 3 of the books in one cafe or something.
Yeah, I'm not
or
sure.
she finished them off at something. I don't know. It's a cafe up there that's now completely been overtaken
by tourists. Yeah.
And they don't let you in unless you're going to buy something.
Right. Yeah.
Because people usually come to go in and they go
come in and take pictures.
They want to come in and take pictures, and they want to go into the bathroom and write a message on the wall, because that's a thing to do there too.
Oh yeah.
There's like, yeah.
I'm sorry, you guys.
I don't know what
off topic.
We're getting very off topic here, but we're talking about Edinburgh, where there's a Christmas market, and
tying it all together.
Tying it all together for your listening pleasure. But yeah, they go in. I don't know if she wrote them on the toilet in the bathroom or what. You know, so
why Harry Potter books? Yeah, she wrote them on the bathroom.
That's where you
wall.
do some of your greatest thinking. Some of that just like yes, Dumbledore, yes,
my God,
Snape.
But yeah, so like other things you could get at Christmas markets are going to be like handcrafted jewelry, art pieces.
You're going to have like a lot of stuff. In the US there's a big one in Arlington in Texas.
Okay.
Here.
I think that speaking of here in Texas, around Austin there are several towns that were settled by German immigrants, so they have a rich German heritage.
Yeah, I'd imagine. I don't know why New Braunfels.
I think Fredericksburg has a big Christmas market. Yeah, we should try to take some time to get over there. But anyway, yeah. So I think you can possibly anyway, find a Christmas market even in America. Obviously, they're going to be around the bigger cities, but maybe not. I mean, Fredericksburg, for instance, which I just mentioned here in Texas, is a small town.
Yeah, I mean, small towns in the UK had them too. You know, I mean, my small town in Wales had a version of one, you know, but it wasn't like as grand as some of the bigger cities. like Chicago, for instance, over here,
Yeah.
has its own Christkindl market in Daly Plaza, and it's modelled after the Christmas markets in Germany, hence giving it a German flair with German dishes being sold, and most of the counter staff are German too.
Oh, wow, that's
so
cool.
It gives it so authentic.
You just think you stepped right into Germany.
Yes, because, I mean, that's where they all started, isn't it?
Yeah, that's weird. I wonder why...
Sinterklaas. That's like, Sinterklaas. Yeah, it's like, it's German for Santa Claus, isn't it?
Well, I don't know if that was the first Santa Claus, but...
The first Santa Claus.
I don't know.
It's like the first Doctor from first Doctor Who.
I don't know.
She just got it now.
It's been
Santa's regenerated everybody, okay?
It's been a long day, guys. A long few days, actually. Yeah. Okay. Santa's gonna regenerate into Peter Capaldi next. Watch out.
Jodie Whittaker now. Gonna get up with the program. She's coming back on New Year's Day too.
Oh my god.
Doctor number 13. New York City has one. The Winter Village.
I mean, that
located in
doesn't
Bryant
really
Park.
surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, you'd imagine it to have one,
Yeah. Denver, Colorado makes sense as well. I mean, the setting looks appropriate to have a Christmas.
Yeah.
If,
yeah. I mean,
if they didn't have one, I would be like, "Where's your Christmas market? What are you trying to do?
What are you trying to do here? What are you trying to pull? You trying to get out of Christmas here? I'll find out.
It's all very Hallmark, isn't it?
Very Hallmark.
Christmas
I mean, Hallmark
market.
basically is a Christmas market in film form, isn't it? I mean, it is. If you think about it, they go to like little shops and there's usually an ice rink in one of them.
There's usually like some type of little Christmas market.
And there's an ice rink where they meet or something, The plot, it's like someone said it's like 1,000 movies, one plot,
Yeah. But anyway, I think we run this topic into the ground. Before we wrap it up here, I think that we need to mention that today is election day.
Today is election day, people.
In Britain, yeah.
In Britain, not in America.
Not in America, unfortunately.
Don't worry, you haven't missed it.
But if you're in Britain and you have not voted, I don't know. No, this is going to be too late for you to go vote.
Too late.
Yeah.
Too late to apologize.
Because it usually comes out in the afternoon. In America. So
and that's going to be about 8 o'clock.
What time do
10
polls
o'clock.
close
So no, it's not.
Oh, okay.
So if you're listening to this in Britain right now at 8 o'clock in the evening, get down to your poll station and vote.
Yes.
And vote. And vote again.
I think I'm pretty confident that everyone listening will have voted.
Yes, I think I'm interested to see the voter turnout.
I mean, most people in Britain do vote, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to vote, even the dogs and the cats. Take your kitties to vote at the polling station.
If you don't already, be sure to follow us on social media. We're at TButty, TEABUTTY. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And hopefully we'll be talking about some kind of election thing or updating you, or we're going to try to
update you with the time difference and everything. We might be watching David Dimbleby or whoever it is going to have the election night special.
Yeah. Which
I'm sure it's going to be him, and we're anticipating... the other day, I think we were watching Mock the Week. This is a little bit off topic. But
you guys, if you listen to us, you just know that we go off topic very frequently. So roll with the punches.
Hugh Grant is a Liberal Democrat. Is that what they said?
I just heard that. Yeah.
Hugh Grant. I thought he was Labour. Maybe he switched. Maybe it's... I don't know. Hugh? What's going on, mate?
Possibly you're confusing him with his Love Actually character.
Well, no, we never knew what he was in Love Actually, his Prime Minister character, if he was Labour or Conservative or Liberal Democrat. I'm sure if it was Hugh's personal preference, he was like, I'm a Liberal Democrat Prime Minister. But yeah, he was out campaigning, knocking on doors, like his Love Actually character.
I wonder if he was singing Christmas carols.
Yes, he probably was. And he was looking for Martine McCutcheon's character, Hello, does Natalie live here? And are you voting Liberal Democrat this year? Can I entice you to vote?
But yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see what happens. We'll know by Friday, right? I mean, there's
Friday,
not a situation where it goes over and you don't know.
You don't know. Yeah, I mean, sometimes, like, the last major one, I think in 2010, they'd screwed up and they were still counting way beyond
really?
the thing, and it was like, oh, we're still getting the votes in, they're still counting,
Yeah.
And it was just like it was a farce. But it ended up being a hung parliament, which is a whole other story I'm not going to go into right now, what a hung parliament is. It's not where the parliament are actually hung or anything, it's just like it's something to do with the first past the post system, which is still in use in Britain. So
yes, sorry if you were bored by our politics and election podcast on Tuesday.
It ain't over yet, mate. It ain't over yet, I tell you.
Continue it in this podcast, but yeah. So anyway, if you haven't voted, go vote, and it'll be interesting to see what happens there. And if you're not following us on social media, do that. We also have a Patreon page where we give you benefits like secret podcasts only available to our patrons.
Nobody else can hear except our patrons.
Christmas cards that go out to our patrons only.
Secret Christmas cards that nobody else can get except our patrons.
You can also get Dominic's debut EP.
My debut EP/album. It's only like 7 tracks, so I released it 40 years ago.
Oh, and we have not done it yet because we're only going to do it a few times a year, but it will be coming up soon. A patron only Q&A session.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So if you're not on Patreon and you want to ask us a question, sign up and we will answer your questions.
Yeah. We're going to add benefits as we go, but that's what we have available.
That's what we have at the moment, yes.
Yeah, so anyway, I think that's all the information you guys need.
Yes. Thank you for listening, everybody. It's been wonderful. Get yourself down to a Christmas market soon.
Yes. And thank you, as always, for listening. We really, really appreciate you all so much.
Yes.
Like us, share us. Do all the
things.
And we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.